we want to welcome, that is, Mike Fink to the Public Affairs Console. Mike's no stranger not only to mission control here, but certainly up in space. He's flown 3 times, 2 of those quite long duration flights, and then the shorter flight, but he was on Space Shuttle Endeavour. We talked with Trent Martin just a few minutes ago, and Mike had just arrived. So welcome, Mike. It's good to have you here.
Well, thanks, Kyle. It's always great to be here in Mission Control Center.
Yeah. Well, Mike and I actually go back quite a bit, and we got to know each other pretty well in Moscow, not to date us, but we were there in 1998 for a long time.
Yeah, we were getting the space station started to be built, and it's great to see it up there today, fully constructed.
How does it feel? It's been, what, 14 years now? I don't even want to say 14, 15 years now. But can you imagine that 15 years later, you were helping with all of the processes that got us to this point, and now you've flown on the station 2 long flights and a shuttle flight, but you've been there 3 times.
Well, it's a great sense of accomplishment, I think the whole team should feel. I mean, it was a dream to have a space station, even watching the movie 2001 and everything. And, you know, here at NASA and working with our international partners, we have a great team, and we build it. It's amazing. Dreams to reality, Kyle.
Yeah, no kidding. 381 days in space. That's well over a year of a continuous space flight, at least on those 3 flights. But obviously, we were talking to Trent about AMS, and one reason that you're here is to talk about this. The last flight of Endeavour, it was your only shuttle flight, as it turned out, but you were the last individual seat on a space shuttle, because STS-135, they were all veterans, so you were the last individual seat. But maybe you can describe that mission a little bit associated with AMS. I know the crew didn't actually do the installation other than robotically, but you did spacewalks, and you were out there and saw it installed on the station, just like some of the photos that we'll show while we're talking.
Well, Kyle, as you know, we here at NASA, we're ready for everything. So in case we ran into troubles with the installation of alpha magnetic spectrometer, AMS, we as a crew were ready. Whether we needed to do alternate robotic techniques or go out for EVAs,
right.
We needed to know AMS inside and out. And in order to do that, we had a chance to go to Geneva to watch it be built, where we got to meet Trent and his team, along with Professor Sam Ting and the scientist community. What a great group of people. Another international collaboration, like our beautiful International Space Station. Another successful group of showing what human beings can accomplish when we work together, and it was really fun working with them. We got to see the AMS when it was all in pieces. We got to see it when it got put together. We welcomed it. We were on the welcoming committee down in Florida when it arrived to Florida, and we saw how it was integrated into our space shuttle.
Right. We have a little bit of video that I think we showed while we were talking to Trent a little while ago, but it's kind of fast moving, but it does show a little bit of the mission.
Yeah, launching on a space shuttle was so much different than my previous Soyuz missions. You could really feel the rumble of the solid rocket boosters. You could really feel the G-forces build up. It's a great vehicle, the space shuttle. We popped right into the clouds and never stopped going till we reached orbit. It was pretty surprising how fast we got up there. 8.5 minutes to orbit. A day or 2 later, we docked to our beautiful International Space Station. You can see the AMS back there. We had another payload that we had removed the day before. So we were pretty good at robot arm operations. That's the PDRS, the shuttle robotic arm, and we took it out of the payload bay and handed it off to the station robotic arm.
Right.
Big handshake in space. Sam Ting, who the chief scientist PI for this, Nobel laureate, he said, this thing costs $1.5 billion. Please don't drop it. So we were very happy as a crew not to have dropped the AMS. It took all of us working together. We had Roberto Vittori and Drew Feustel working on the shuttle arm, along with Greg Shamatoff and Greg Johnson working with the station arm. And the robotic team here at Johnson Space Center did a great job. They had it all planned out, all the coordinated maneuvers, and it was a great feeling once we installed it onto the back of the truss aboard our space station. You can see how big the space station is. and how big the AMS is, but space station's so much bigger. And
Right.
it was plug and play. That's what I really liked about it. We put it in, the claw grabbed it, all the data and power connectors went right in, and it worked right the first time.
It's funny that you said plug and play, because in the station mission management team meeting this morning, I happened to see Gary Horlocker there, who was our lead flight director for STS-134 on the shuttle side of the mission, and I asked him that specific thing, in terms of crew involvement. Obviously, all the robotics arm work had to be done, very intricate work by the crew, but then once it's plugged in, it was a laptop kind of interface, right, to get it activated and make sure the team on the ground could see the data and that type of thing.
Yeah, we pushed a few buttons, and everything worked according to plan.
It leads me to another question about, not even a question, maybe statement that you can elaborate on, and that is the teamwork between the team on the ground and the crew on board. It's very interactive, and it's evolved. It seems like every increment almost, it seems like it evolves, that the training and the work and talking with the flight controllers and all of that. And maybe you could talk about that, because you flew on Expedition 9 and then again, years later, and then the shuttle flight, and compare those and the transition.
Yeah, it's first and foremost, it's great working with the mission operations director, with the flight directors. The penultimate or the ultimate flight director, stereotype is the Gene Kranz, and failure's not an option.
Right.
And we still have that here, and there's some great principles by which the flight control team really works every day. So great to be here at the Mission Control Center. I still get the Capcom, and you can see the coordination that it takes. I mean, that's a really big space station. We're not in charge of it up there. We don't drive it around. I mean, it's going around the Earth. We have folks monitoring the critical systems,
Right.
and that frees us up. So we're not monitored. It doesn't take 10 of us on board to monitor things that can be down here on the ground, see how our electrical power is going. So it frees us up to do the research and to do the things that that only we can do on board. And being able to be in synchronization with your ground control team is a great feeling, and it's a great sense of accomplishment for all of us when we succeed in things like the alpha magnetic spectrometer, or that flame experiment that Chris Cassidy setting up today. Once if that first flame comes on, it's like yay, and everyone's excited.
Yeah, that experiment work is really ramping up. In fact, all week, this week and next week, they're upgrading the communication system that's adding 2 space-to-ground voice channels and additional television channels for experiment work too. So it's definitely evolved, and now into a true scientific laboratory up there.
Yeah, it's on Expedition 18, we were working towards the goal that we could have 6 people aboard the space station, and now every time I see 6 people up there, I feel that sense, yay! But we need more comm, because there could be a primary investigator, a lead scientist down on the ground, and he needs to help you, your hands and ears and eyes on board.
Right.
But maybe he or she knows something that can help you make the experiment better. We can tweak it in real time, and having that extra comm channel so that other things can be done, maintenance or another experiment can be done. Those extra comm channels really are going to help out.
There was one other picture that Trent showed that hopefully we'll get to show, and I wanted to ask you, because life inside the station obviously is as a laboratory, but during 134 you did 3 spacewalks on that flight, and Trent showed a picture from way out on the end of the truss that had AMS in the foreground, the station, and Endeavour, and that must really give you a really good perspective of the size. But talk about what it's like. I know you're focused on your work and your work site when you're translating around out there, but talk about when you have an opportunity to look out like this view and see that entire complex.
So our lead spacewalker was Drew Feustel, and I had done spacewalks before, but they were Russian spacewalks, and so this is these were my first spacewalks on the American side, and Shamatov, this was his first spacewalk at all, this first chance at spacewalk. So Feustel reminded us a lot, do your work, get it done right, but now and then stop and take a look. and it's absolutely amazing. You saw in that previous picture, and you can see here, there's a lot of things going on. That's myself and Shamatov out there working outside. But we did stop and, I don't say smell the roses, but take a look, and you could see how big our space station is, how many meat parts are out there. This is one of my favorite shots ever.
Great
You
shot.
can see that's Shamatov, but I'm in the visor, and that's me and my buddy Greg. We worked together on Expedition 18, so it was great to see him out there. But we were finishing up construction of the American part of the space station, we took the big robotic boom that we used for space shuttle inspection,
Right.
that we left it on the outside of space station in case we ever need to go back and fix a solar array or something. It's a very long stick that we can put at the end of the arm and grab things or hold things or send someone out there.
Right. So talk about what you're doing now relative to supporting the astronaut office and the agency.
Yeah, you bet. I'm sure you guys talk a lot about NASA's missions now. We still have our International Space Station. We have astronauts getting training. We have astronauts on board, and we're going to continue on to the end of space station doing that. We go up and down right now only with Soyuzes, but our office is helping the new vehicles get ready that are going, whether starting out with cargo vehicles, like working with SpaceX and Orbital Sciences for our cargo missions, revamping and getting ready for the companies that are working with NASA to take Americans back in space on American space vehicles. That's really busy and exciting with new development and a lot of test flying coming up in the future, as well as getting ready and working with Orion and the SLS. I'm leaving here and getting ready to go do a cockpit evaluation of Orion and see which buttons to push and make sure it's efficient. So all of the experiences that our office as astronauts we've gained with the shuttle program and building the space station, we're doing our part on the team, the NASA team, to get ready for our exciting future.
Well, we really appreciate you taking time out to stop by and see us. It's really good to see you and see you over here too. Mike Fink, astronaut, obviously 381 days in space, has a great perspective on life up there and also what's in store for us in the future. So thanks a lot for stopping by, Mike. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Kyle. It's always good to be on NASA TV.
I didn't ask him to do that. Thanks, Mike.